What are your just initial thoughts on the reports that you've heard, and what are your thoughts on just the players overall?
Man, I've been an O-line coach, and I've been in summer workouts and spring workouts and two-a-days and all that stuff, the acclimation period before you put pads on. And we would tell our kids, like, look, man, we're going to do one-on-ones. We're going to go through this. We're going to do teamwork. This is built for the defense to win. That doesn't mean you give up, but just understand, don't let this wreck your confidence. You would have to kind of bracket that practices with, like, look, man, let's wait. Once we get the pads on, then you pop them in the mouth, put them in their place, and you're going to be where you're at. So, has it looked good? No. Having said that, the 49ers have the best defensive line in the NFL, at least one of the best, top three, worst case scenario. Biggest question mark on the 49ers roster, interior offensive line play. So, yeah, you're talking about best versus worst, or kind of the best thing about the 49ers roster, and perhaps the worst or unquestioned or unanswered yet would be a better way to say it. There's going to be issues. Pads aren't on. Pads come on Monday. Monday, then you can start to gauge that. I'm seeing people talking about trading for interior offensive linemen already. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, you guys have not been around football. You just haven't seen it. You can't judge O linemen. You really can't judge O linemen by just, helmets only. You just can't do it. You can't do it.
I agree, and I mean that's the thing that really I'm glad that you, as a former offensive line coach, preface. Pads, without pads, defensive line always wins. Regardless of who's playing, defensive line always wins. Now, combine that with no Trent Williams, no Mike McGlinchey, and this is in scrimmages, I mean, and, a rotating offensive line where people aren't necessarily as acclimated with each other. That's something to say. Now, I won't sugarcoat it again. Here are the guys who haven't necessarily looked that great. I'll start with the guys who aren't necessarily team favorites, then go to the guys who are team favorites. Field probably has been one of the worst 49ers I've seen on the field so far. Not a great sign for a guy on the bubble already to make the team. He was the third string right tackle. It was McGlinchey, but McGlinchey didn't play in scrimmages, so more
That
started.
starts tomorrow. That starts tomorrow.
Exactly. Moore started at right tackle. Then it was Skule as the backup. Skule was just getting beat yesterday, be it by whoever. He committed a false start as well. So right now, so far, not a strong camp by Skule. Colton McKivitz has been worked, albeit it is by Nick Bosa on the left side. I know Moore
Yeah.
and McKivitz did switch today. Moore left, McKivitz right. Those two guys haven't necessarily looked good. Then on the second team, a guy who people really like, Jason Poe, unfortunately, he's not one of the guys on top right now. I didn't think he was going to make the roster. I saw him in person. He is small. He is the smallest guy on the field, and it's not close. Like Donovan West is pretty small for his size, and then Poe is one level below that. He's small, and he did get beat as well a little bit at right guard yesterday with the second team. Now, some of the positives. I mean, we do have that Brendel Brunskill rotation at center. I think Brendel right now has the hold on it. He's the starter, and Brunskill has struggled a little bit, but it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Spencer Burford has taken all of the right guard snaps with the first team. I think it's more so because the 49ers want Brunskill at center, and because Moore hasn't been given the opportunity since he's had to play first team tackle with McGlinchey and Williams out. I think it'll be Moore and Burford kind of competing next week when McGlinchey is back. That's what I'm looking for. But Aaron Banks has had he's been the best offensive lineman for the 49ers so far, and that's a good sign. He's had some bad reps, but he's also had some pretty good reps, from in my opinion.
I think that's huge. Man, incredible list right there, dude. That's incredible. So well thought out, well organized, well delivered. But if you could have asked us, man, okay, offensive line's going to struggle, but if you get to pick one offensive lineman to have a really good start to camp, who would you pick? I think we all would have said Aaron Banks or maybe Jake Brendel. But that's huge. That's a huge positive.
Yeah,
And yeah, you're looking at 5 offensive linemen that are out there right now. Maybe 2 of those are going to actually be starters. 2 of
yeah.
them. Trent Williams, he's not out there. Mike McGlinchey, he's not out there. Daniel Brunskill taking snaps with the backups. He's going to be starting right guard or center. I'm telling you, Daniel Brunskill is not going to be a backup week 1 on this offensive line. So
I don't know.
that
We'll
leaves
see.
you with 2. You think so?
We'll see. I think I don't think it's as clear cut. I think that Brunskill right now they want him to win the center job, but initially I'm not exactly sure if he will.
If Daniel Brunskill's not starting week 1, it has nothing to do with injuries, the 49ers O-line is going to be just fine. Because Brunskill is one of those guys like Dante Johnson that's got some type of inside scoop on Kyle Shanahan. So if somebody beats him out, that's a great sign. That's not a bad thing. I think that's a great sign. I think they're going to be
I agree.
okay.
That's
Yeah.
that's something I definitely agree on. And I also agree that the 49ers offensive line is going to be an average to an above average offensive line in 2022. I think it'll be a top 15 unit despite the new pieces, despite the new names, just because they aren't going to be relied to do as much with Trey Lance at quarterback. I saw a couple of plays where Lance was moving out of the pocket. I know Shanahan probably wants Lance to stay in the pocket without pads because a sack doesn't matter right now. So he's
Mhm.
probably staying in the pocket more than he has to. But I've seen him move out of the pocket, and you've got Trent Williams and Mike McGlinchey coming back. That's an interesting thing for sure.